If that were the case, then I've got like an army of monsters in my house that I'm just constantly keeping them at bay. Seriously. It's revelry at my house sometimes.
You hear the horns of
Call to arms!
yeah. What's
Kids are
the
shooting out of bed thinking they have to come to attention.
what's the horn and
Of Gondor?
no, not the horn of Gondor at
Helm's Deep?
Helm's Deep.
The one that... I want to watch the new movie.
The War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go see the AMC theater because they give you a big cake cup and then they give you a hammer popcorn.
No way. I just am not interested in like that animation. I heard
I think
it's great, but that animation for some odd reason I'm
It's
not
great.
that
I mean,
interested in.
because Julie served her mission in Japan. I mean, she tends to watch a lot of Japanese stuff.
You guys hear that? Sorry, my nose is so loud today.
Should we get started?
Oh my god!
Heavens.
I thought you tooted and you were smelling it. I was kind of nervous. Josh is already chasing the bad things
We'd
away.
all be dead.
And with that, welcome to the Twaddling Along podcast.
It'd get caught on the mic and it would be bad.
As people are hanging out at home. Oh, I can smell it through the speaker.
Billy Joel talks about the microphone smelling like a beer, but man, yours is going to smell like something else.
Ugh.
Every time you go to talk into it, it's like, ugh.
I just faint. Boom.
And also, hey, and everybody out there, Merry Christmas. This is going to
Merry
be coming out the
Christmas.
week of Christmas. We want to wish all of our listeners a Merry Christmas with lots of
horns.
lots of joy,
Call to arms.
tribulation, no tribulation.
No one's ever going to be able to hear the bugle again without thinking of us.
So this week on the Twaddling Along podcast, it is Jake. We are talking about the paranormal. I don't think it has anything to do with gas, but maybe it does.
I mean, the scary half-demon baby on this looks like a puff of gas. So
That is true.
So Jake, what are we talking about this week?
we are talking about Christmas.
Christmas is paranormal.
Time of joy.
Merry Christmas.
Time of merriment. Time of presents, gifts. A time that we can come together and be happy, merry. Time for Danny to have his wassail.
Here I go,
Ugh.
wassailing. So, like true ancient wassail was just straight up like really, really heavily fermented mead. So half
I
a
thought that's what you drink.
half a wassailing was literally just
Drunk.
stumbling drunk to drunk in the doors trying to sing Merry Christmas. And people are throwing coins trying to
Yeah,
get
is
you away.
wassail just the slurred version of Merry Christmas?
Wassail. So what are we talking about when it comes to Christmas, Jake?
All right. During Christmas, that time of merriment, the joy, the time when Danny drinks wassail, the time when Josh has issues. It is also the time of superstition.
Ooh.
So we are going to talk about I went and found an article, mostly because I typed in Christmas superstition. It's the first one that came up, but it's from a website called Doors Online.
UK. This is British.
Oh, that's right. It does have, so it's uk.co.uk. So, they have to have way too many after the facts for it.
So do you realize what the Doors and more, it literally does sell doors?
Do they really?
They really do.
So
listen,
are they pictures like supposed to be doors?
I have no idea. All I know is that like I was looking at the website because you sent it over and I accidentally I
Danny's
clicked on
doing
the
a deep
very
dive.
top thing and it really was. It's like quality internal and external bifold French doors.
And Danny's like, ooh.
And I was like, well,
Let's ship one of those.
I'd like a Mexicano oak panel door. Thank you very much.
So they bring you in with superstitions, let you leave with something that
With
opens
doors
and
and
closes.
windows. And
With the wood they have in Europe. Oh, great.
so if you're looking for a door and you find yourself in England, Doors and More online, uk.co.
Now, Danny, you're the only one who's been to England out of both Jake and I and you.
They have some nice doors.
Do they have nice stores?
They have some nice. Actually, to be honest with you, they have beautiful everything over there. Sometimes, you walk into a pub and it's all like this deep, rich wood, and like looking at doorsandmore.com or
With all the angry
co.uk.
Scots and Irishmen drinking their wasp.
Seriously, man.
So
Anyway, back to what we're talking about.
not doors in England.
Oh, you know what I just realized? You didn't introduce us.
I didn't.
I'm so happy. I didn't have to think up an opening.
I'm Dan McBride.
Oh, damn
here
it.
with my co-host Josh.
Whoa, I'm going first, bro. I like doors.
What was that like a? What was that?
Whoa. I don't know.
It was like a Keanu Reeves impression. If no one's ever heard of Keanu Reeves before,
You killed my dog. Prepare to die.
and Jake.
Dude, I gave you time.
I know. And I guess all I can say is all right.
Heaven help us.
So we're going to see what happens in this podcast, mostly because, I tried doing additional research on this and it kept bringing me back to the same website. Like every time I would do research and try to find out more about this. And so I'm starting to wonder how many of these are actually true.
Hey, Doors Online it's right up there with Wikipedia, cracked.com.
Cracked?
Yeah.
What's cracked.com?
Oh, it's an ancient website for old people like me that we used to go on to have articles and stuff.
We had the one lady that you can ask questions. I can't remember her name.
You had the
Jeeves?
one lady? I said we had Ask Jeeves.
Yeah,
I
Ask
loved Ask
Jeeves.
Jeeves. And then
I
they
don't think
became
it was-
ask.com and it was sad.
And then I was altavista.com.
And now it's dead.
Yeah, it's all dead. Anyway, sorry. We are having a rough go, people.
Well, I just want to point out that like after last week with our beloved what was his name again? Dan?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain. That's what it was.
And becoming Mark Twits.
Samuel Clemens.
I always want to say Tom Sawyer. And so every time I'm like, how was Tom Sawyer? And then it's like, that's not fictional. But Mark Twain was fictional too, we found out last week. So,
Yes.
hey. Anywho.
Wait, what?
Mark Twain.
I'm just kidding. That was for dramatic effect, everyone.
That was
That wasn't very dramatic. That was very confused.
Oh, okay.
All right. Poland. In the beloved country of Poland, they have a tradition. Would you like to hear this tradition?
I would like to hear this.
Just
tradition.
read it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I keep accidentally turning off my iPad. Here we go. So, Polish superstition warns that any child born during the 12 days of Christmas could be a werewolf or other half human, half demon hybrid.
Oh.
So
why?
see, and that's what I was looking for. I was trying to find out, and the only thing I could find is someone saying, how dare children try to be born nearby Christ and try to overturn his birthday?
Oh, I know. So this got linked to a Medium article.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
just
know
looking
that's
at
true.
that too.
The Medium article.
And it's published in the Weird Closet.
yes. Yes.
So
So we have so far the Weird Closet and doors.
And it's funny.
.co.uk.
Here's what I think so funny. Not to like completely just trash this, but the second paragraph of the article that it linked says, according to old Italian superstitions, not Polish. So I don't know what's going on here.
hey, they're all the same.
Yeah, Italian, Poland's.
Well,
Polish.
So so I actually kind of was looking into this a little bit, and I pulled out some literature.
Ooh.
And it's not just, it actually is in Poland, but it's also in Italy. It's like all Europe.
See, the
Really?
ones I found
There's
on
a-
were from Germany.
Yeah, there is a huge contingent of like European stories that between Christmas and then the Advent, which I think is, January 6th, I think.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the 12 days of Christmas. That's where that comes from.
Oh, I thought that was the old new Christmas idea. Like the old Christmas was that.
No, so the 12 days of Christmas is the birth of Christ on the 25th, and then it's supposed to go the 12 days, which on the 12th day is when the wise man, according to Orthodox tradition, arrived.
So you mean to tell me that the man in the song decided on Christ's birthday to give a pear tree to his beloved?
I don't know if anyone can hear
I was going
that.
to say, can anybody hear our dad screaming upstairs? Hey, Dad. Being kind of loud.
Hey, Kinsey.
Just yelling.
This is what we get for coming to our
I was
parents'
gonna
house.
say,
Our parents'
Here we
basement.
are. Anyways, going back to it, so the 12 days of Christmas, like it's a cursed time. It's like this idea that like for 12 days the world is unprotected. And I don't know why it coincides with the birth of Christ and the coming of the wise men, but they like every kind of religion has like these really, really deep, or these not just religions, but like these areas in Europe have these really deep lore. I'd have to assume it's coming from somewhere else, like some other part of their lore, some other part of like their ancient religions, but I don't know.
I think everyone heard that. No, that is kind of weird because I would assume the unprotected days are the days before Christ's birth.
You would think so, right?
But at the same time, people call it Good Friday on the day he died. So I don't know what's going on, man. But anyway, as we were talking about the unprotected 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Was the song The 12 Days of Christmas given gifts as a protection?
Oh, I don't know.
A partridge? Is that any symbolic?
So birds play a huge part in a lot of different religions.
2 French hens? 3 turtle doves?
5 gold rings. A bunch of
You skip 4.
4 turtle something.
4.
No, 4.
What is it?
4.
Partridge. Wait.
I want to say flapping birds, but that's not it.
4 flapping birds.
3 French hens.
4
2
calling
turtle-
birds.
Calling birds.
Calling birds.
Now, what are those? Call.
Yeah, that's exactly what the birds are just.
The bird. Hey, honey, I want to give this to you. What are they? Call.
Oh, calling birds. Yes.
Or are they?
Also, how disappointed are you after like the 5 gold rings? Like, don't you think that like amps everything up? Like on the 5th day, it's like 5 gold rings, and she's like, "Oh yes."
And here's
I'm gonna
my
be rich.
thing.
And then it's 6 turtle doves?
No, that was 3.
I don't know what it is.
But here's
I'm gonna
my
look it
thing.
up so we stop speaking blasphemy.
Here's my thing. You have 5 golden rings, and then he starts giving her people. Like,
Hey,
what
hey.
the slavery's going on?
What the slavery is going
Like,
on?
I'm going to give you 12 dancers. Or
12
12 pipers
Oh,
piping.
12 days of Christmas comes up right off the bat. On the first day of Christmas. Oh,
copyright.
man, this is too long to read. I'm going to the end.
12 pipers piping.
Let's see.
11 dancers dancing.
12 drummers drumming.
Oh, awkward.
Oh,
11 pipers piping. 10 lords a leaping. I want to know what that is.
Lords
There's just a
leaping.
bunch of lords like, oh, Lord.
Over the candlestick.
it's supposed to be a game.
10 lords a leaping.
No, the whole song is actually a game. It's for children's memory. It's a forfeit game. So you go around in a circle, and you're supposed to
But
kind of keep building.
Still,
and building.
why are they selling lords to his wife?
or 8 maids of milking.
Here's 8 cows. You 8 cow woman.
Oh dear.
Now, that was not a Asian accent. That was supposed to be a Pacific Island accent that did not turn out super well.
No.
Not. It did not. Oh,
Moana, you ugly.
get down from that tree. Okay, let's go back to
Oh, now I got to open my other thing again.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'd just like to interrupt.
I'm
so
ready
sorry.
for Christmas. That's the problem. I'm
think
just
so,
ready to be
too.
done.
I think you don't want to listen to this podcast and just have Christmas food, and
Merry
I don't blame you.
Christmas. Put us on in the background.
Ooh.
We sing sometimes.
Ooh, speaking of food, do you guys like pig?
I love pig.
I'm going to talk about something with pigs.
That was horrifying.
And it was perfectly in sync, so it was
really
like
was.
the
It was like
demonic
a
background.
Okay,
So,
tell us about the pig.
This is an American superstition.
America.
Oh, this one's funny.
So, what they have is you have a woman. I like how Josh is just immediately laughing about that. It's a woman. Josh,
It's a woman. A woman.
So,
Name the movie.
This, I have no idea.
Mulan.
Oh.
A woman.
Josh, I'm pretty sure there are a majority of
I
movies
think
that have
I
the
was
woman
gonna
in
say-
it.
I was just thinking that like there's multiple.
It's the inflections. It's the inflection.
I
A
think there's-
woman.
I think in Pretty Woman they say it.
Josh,
Jason Alexander's like, a woman.
we got to work on your accents, man.
That was not Asian. I don't think the guy who played the character that I'm quoting is Asian. It's
He's 100%.
the Emperor's dude?
Yeah.
The servant guy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like who's also the goose from
Panda.
Is that him?
Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah,
He
he's
is like
the Asian.
very Asian.
Josh, she's not Asian.
A woman.
Oh.
Sorry. So
We
anyway,
we
there's
just offended
We're
another
just
celebrity again.
digging ourselves in a hole again.
Hey,
Anyway, back to those pigs.
we love you.
Okay, so it's an American
So
tradition.
you have a woman.
Okay,
She's not the pig.
she's not the pig.
She's not the pig.
Okay.
She wants love.
Oh boy, where's this going?
She decides, according to old Appalachian myth, to visit the hog pen at midnight. Now, before anyone goes really far with their dirty minds, all she's doing is waiting to see whether a pig makes a noise or not.
Okay, feeling real good about the story so far. This didn't make my mind go dirty at all.
Before anyone
You
goes
guys are
dirty,
ruining this. You're ruining the seriousness of this.
let's see if it makes a noise.
Okay, so why is she listening for a noise? Jake?
Poke it with a stick.
Well, as you know, as I said before, she wants love.
Right.
Well, according to this myth, the hogs are going to be able to determine what type of husband she'll have.
Okay.
So she goes in the hog pen, and if she waits,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
an old hog might,
An old hog might.
I can't.
Someone's been wassailing.
A little too much.
So
You guys are ruining this for me.
I'm sorry.
So it's it's an old hog. So if an old hog grunts first, that means that she is going to marry an old, ugly man.
Oh.
But if a young hog grunts first, I always want to say young hog first. That doesn't make any sense.
a young hog grunts first.
Her husband will be young and handsome. And I saw some traditions that said rich too.
Interesting.
So I feel bad for the old hogs.
You know, have you guys ever looked into Appalachian
They are.
folklore? They've got some deep stuff.
They
See,
do.
this is my lack of insight. What Appalachian culture
West
is
Virginia. So West Virginia Highlands all the way to
It's South Carolina.
it's just the Appalachian Mountains.
this? Now, what period of time does this culture come from? Or is this still going on?
Oh,
Are
it's
people
still,
it's-
oh yeah, no, there's
There's
a ton of different
There's a
people.
YouTube video that I've watched that is a family in Appalachia that are inbred to the point that they're
yeah.
completely
Yeah, it's kind of a rough video.
yeah.
I've watched it too. No, they're 100% still around. So it's the hill people. It's like people who make
Hillbillies.
moonshine, like moonshiners, people that you would consider hillbillies. Those are people from Appalachia.
They're called hillbillies
Not
because
now.
they're from the hills?
Now, I don't want to. Not everybody from Appalachia is like that, or Appalachia. What is it?
Appalachia.
Appalachia.
We're going to say West Virginia.
But they do. They have some really They are superstitious people.
That's where the Hatfields and McCoys
Yeah.
kind of come from. I don't know if you know who they are.
I do know who they are.
Okay.
I mostly know them from Disney cartoons where they're shooting at each other with really large guns.
And that's
Is it
literally
Disney or is it Looney Tunes?
There's two. There's the Looney Tunes one, and then there's a Disney one. The Disney one has Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and them versing Pete. The Looney Tunes one has other things.
Oh.
The Disney one was the best because they had to share a porta potty. They found out how to share together, and that was the reason that they initially fought, is because they couldn't each share the porta potty.
Yeah, but the Appalachian people are very very poor. It's not really a developed area at all. And so a lot of these people live off grid, don't have running water, don't have
Which
And
once again, that's the
They go and visit hogs at night.
well, and that's the common
stigma.
yeah, it's the stigma. It's not necessarily the truth of everything, but that's what people.
So you mean to tell me Cletus
Yeah.
is Appalachian.
Yeah, Cletus Yokel. That's the Appalachian people.
With his 26
once-
kids, with his mom.
They're known for a lot of, writers often engaged in yellow journalism, which is false journalism, focused on sensationalistic aspects of the region's culture, such as moonshining and clan feuding. And that's kind of just subsided. They're not all like that. As a matter of fact, most are not like that. It's just like any other city and or culture. However, according to Wikipedia, they do have the highest amount of methamphetamine addiction.
So I believe I've read this, and I could just be talking out my rear end, but that is one of the reasons that the colonies stopped in the Appalachian Mountains, because there were rumors that the people in the mountains were crazy and that they would kill you if you crossed the mountains because they were just different.
Interesting.
And so,
Well, you
I
learn
think
something
that's-
new every day.
yeah.
I just read a thing about a woman, going to a hog pen, and now I learned something whole and new.
How fun.
I know. I'm excited.
What's the next one?
so Europe, America is just as bad as Europe.
we do have our
Hogs.
strange beliefs.
Speaking of Europe, we're going back to Greece now.
Greece.
So one Greek tradition calls for you to burn your old shoes on Christmas time. It is believed the foul smell will drive away. Now, I want to say that it's kalikanzai, because when I heard a Greek person say it, that's what it sounded like, but my ears might have misheard.
Okay.
But it's a Christmas goblin,
Interesting.
and it keeps them from their home. So if you want to avoid a Christmas goblin, burn your shoe.
And it's also a bad idea to give shoes as a gift during the festive period. Otherwise, you risk that person walking out of your life in the future.
I really like that it's not necessarily the shoe burning that drives them away. It's the foul smell of the shoe burning.
Listen, so on my mission, at the very tail end of my mission,
You
we
burn
did-
your shoes?
We did.
Really?
100%. Yeah, there was a tradition in my mission where you would burn a tie. burn a shirt.
Wait. Pause. Tradition in the mission. That rhymes. Sorry.
A tradition in the mission
Speaking
where
of superstition,
where you would burn, seriously, you would burn your tie, you'd burn your white shirt, and if you had like an old suit, you burn it and you burn your shoes. It does smell very foul.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
mostly because of all the sweat.
Oh,
See, I never had shoes last long enough that
You
I
could
was
burn 'em.
able to do that. And they were made up towards the end. They were just made out of rubber, so
So they wouldn't melt, or they'd melt and just
they would melt
puddle
and
up.
be really
I was
weird.
gonna say, so you were just released toxic chemicals into the
Yeah.
atmosphere. I see.
Yeah, and I mean, and in the Philippines, you burn all your garbage, so
Oh.
don't probably want to do that. I'm pretty sure whatever I'm going to die of came from that place.
Okay, what's the next one, Jake?
All right, Latvia. This is what I'm potentially drawing for our picture. So it is the good old Latvian Christmas tradition of dragging the Yule log.
The Yule log.
Yes,
Now-
I've always heard about the Yule log, but it usually just is regarding the Yule log on like the fireplace.
Right.
So I've never actually heard of the tradition of you dragging it. But
Now, is a Yule like an actual tree? Is that what it is?
So
What classifies it as a Yule log?
Yule just means wheel. That's really all it means. It
So,
actually says,
just
fun
a-
fact, the word Yule itself means will. The will being a pagan symbol for the sun. And this has to go back to, I think this went back to Mithras, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it's the sun god Mithras.
So do you just roll a wheel through the forest?
So they roll it through the forest to your house and then around your home, and then you burn it. And the hope is that would encourage the dark days to disappear and the sun to return the following year.
Now, here's where I want to speak up. I mean, I've been speaking the whole time, but can you imagine being an outsider from not this area of Latvia, and you move in your house and you're having a wonderful Christmas feast and you live next to the forest, and you look out your door and you just see a bunch of people rolling logs just coming out of the forest like in abundance? I would panic.
Can you imagine if you lived in a place where all these people were neighbors? One person is cutting the brow of their baby. The other person. Oh, we
burning
forgot to
their
say that,
shoes.
by the way. For
Oh,
the
yeah.
half demon baby, to cure it, you have to cut its brow.
Ugh.
So yeah, you have that. You have a woman that's hanging out with the hogs. You have someone burning their shoes, and then they're dragging the log around. I think it would make for a very festive Christmas. We should start that.
Yep, let's do it.
Except for the cutting the baby's brow.
Yeah, no.
So Yule is the Yule log is Mithraism, and the reason that we have it still today is because the Catholic Church decided to kind of steal it because they
Tie in Mithras with Christ.
well,
or-
and exactly, and that for really good reason. Mithraism was kind of a competitor of early Christianity in the 4th and 5th century.
Well, that's
I like
how,
that idea of competitiveness amongst them. We're gonna take you down. My God can beat your God.
You're gonna pull your log. Well, we could pull it better. Isn't that funny that that's how a lot of our holidays have come about? Is just
100%.
replacing a pagan holiday with a Christian meaning.
That's why Christmas is in December.
Yeah, isn't it winter solstice? Or
Yeah, it's a winter solstice. It's Saturnella, I think, is what it's called, or Saturnalia or something.
Saturnalia.
I mean, even yeah, a lot of things from Christmas, and that's kind of the funny thing that I kept finding in this is even though they are kind of some pretty crazy, traditions, like a lot of them, you go, oh wait a minute, like that's still kind of around in
Yeah,
one way or
yep.
another.
I mean, we cut down trees and then put lights and ornaments on their dead carcasses.
Yeah,
So
well, that's one way to put it. We cut him down, and then with their dead carcass, we decorate them.
and then you put a star on the top to finish it
Now,
off.
I will say this: there is a community in, I want to say it's like Papua New Guinea or Indonesia or something, where they do keep their dead relatives at hand, and there's a holiday where you bring out their dead bodies, you dress them up as they were when they lived, and you celebrate with them.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I heard about that. Didn't we talk about that on one of the previous
We
podcasts?
might have because that
I
does
don't
sound familiar.
Oh, okay. How much time we got?
We got plenty.
All right.
So,
We'll keep going down. So this is funny because it's Czech Republic, but Czechia?
Chechnya.
Chechnya?
So,
I never heard that particular form of it before, so that's kind of cool. But for them, many in Western Europe favor meat or poultry as the centerpiece of their Christmas dinner. In Eastern Europe, carp is more commonly served.
Ugh.
Why would you want carp?
Why would you eat carp?
A superstitious host in the Czech Republic might place a single scale from the fish beneath a guest plate, believing it will bring about prosperity and remind them of the generosity of the season. Why not put just a ton everywhere?
So I just clicked on the hyperlink thinking that it would give me more information.
Did it bring up some carp to buy?
Nope.
Doors.
It sent me to the Czech Republic official hotel site. So
They do it
if
in
anybody
hotels.
wants to go to Prague, this is the place to go. myczechrepublic.com.
I'm starting to wonder about some of the authenticity of some of these. So
I have to wonder myself.
here's my thing. Do you know how much work it is to get a single scale to like place?
That's what I was just thinking. Like, what is the point of the single? See, and I don't mean to belittle anybody's culture here because there's probably some very good reason as to why these are in place to begin with. But I just have to wonder, like, who was the first person that was like, everybody, hold on, just stop for a second. I need to put a fish scale under your plates.
what it probably was is someone bit into their fish and went, "Oh, a scale," and then they like won hundreds of dollars.
That's probably.
And they're like, "Wow, I'm so prosperous." And they're like, "Wow, I know what he did."
Everybody eat the scale.
Interesting.
All right, next.
So next, Philippines. Yay. Now I want to preface this. I had never actually heard this in the Philippines.
Out of all the superstitions.
And this is something I don't normally ask people. So, I mean, for good reason.
Hey, did you do this?
But in the Philippines, the tradition is that you are forbidden from taking a bath on Christmas Day. Why? Because if you do, you'll wash away the blessing of Christ's birthday and may suffer a strange long-term illness.
Once again, what? Where would this come from?
Their
Catholic
water
church.
is not clean.
Oh,
And so like I wasn't allowed to drink it. And it has, I mean, you have worms and stuff like that. So my thing is it says that you're not supposed to, take a bath, but I don't think I came across many people taking baths ever in the Philippines.
Right.
They have their bucket and
that.
everything. So I'm wondering if they just mean bathing in general. But again, this isn't something I came up to people and went, "Do you know what? Did you take a shower today?"
Did you lose the blessing of Christ because you showered?
I probably could have asked them. I mean, they said horrible things about my face all the time. So I mean, I could have just easily said, "Hey, did you shower?"
Oh, God. All right. What's next?
Serbia.
It is Serbia.
She
Sorry.
says this one might be her favorite.
Who says this?
The author.
Oh, the author of this.
Oh.
The famed journalist from Doors Online, uk.co.uk.
Who definitely has all the right sources for each of these, right?
Absolutely. This one actually she did source. It goes to Wikipedia instead of the travel site for
yes.
Serbia.
All right. Take care not to stray outdoors after sundown during the 12 days of Christmas in Serbia. It is said a demon may jump on your back and demand to be carried wherever it wishes. It will only release you when the cockerel crows at dawn. Is a cockerel a rooster?
Yeah.
I would think so. Cockerel.
A cockerel?
No. Okay. All I can say is the picture makes the demon look so happy. It's like he likes to piggyback. He's like, "This is great. Let's go."
I
Come that
have
way.
to tell you, it's kind of offensive because I just looked up like how they describe it, and they just say that it's heavy, squat, and ugly. And I'm thinking that I might be a Carcantansola demon.
Oh,
Look at us.
Carcandanzola.
Are we wandering outside and just jumping on people's backs?
Jumping on Serbians.
It's
Merry Christmas.
I need a drink.
I like how the last sentence in this paragraph that we're reading is, where do you even begin to unpick the origins of this Christmas superstition?
I have no idea.
And that's something, I mean, that we'll probably dive, I think, more into as we keep going. As we've talked about, the Wendigo and the Filipino traditions. I want to know how
Sure.
some of them, or how someone went, "You know what? I came across something like this," and then it just spread the way it did.
One thing that I have noticed, especially with some of these traditions, is some of the, let's call them darker traditions, the ones that involve the demons and everything, they really come from places where in the winter it is deadly. It's cold, you don't have food, and I can't help but wonder if a lot of these are just more, hey, don't go outside and don't do anything stupid during the season because you will die. And they just kind of translated that into children's,
Just like
themes.
Jake, just like your wife says that when you toot, chases the monsters away. If your your descendants are going to pass that down, and it's going to be like this huge superstition.
Oh, crap. What a legacy we've left.
It's a quasi-religion in 120 years.
Grandpappy McBride used to say.
So maybe, it might have started out something innocent, or, some of these pagan beliefs could have been around for thousands upon thousands of years and been retranslated again and again and again and again.
Well, maybe someone did have a wild man jump on the back and go, "Take me somewhere." Ha.
ugly squat. Oh, people are going to think that you just swore.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. Oh, jeez.
All right, let's go to jolly old England.
Jolly old England. On the last Sunday before Advent families. No,
Advent families?
they didn't put a comma. Oh,
The last day before Advent families
no,
gather.
no. On the last day before Advent, comma, families gather to prepare the Christmas pudding. The mixture is stirred from east to west to represent the wise men traveling to see Jesus.
Now-
Each stir, wait, I gotta finish. Each stir will be gifted with good luck and a wish for a new year.
So I've stirred some things in my lifetime. And usually when I stir, I go in a circle.
That's what I was just thinking.
Not-
I was like, what are they just like? It's like one time through and then they pull it out. And one more looks like they're rowing a boat.
I can just see all the English.
Can you imagine someone pulling out a compass? They're looking
Oh,
up,
crap.
looking
That
up
was southwest.
No wonder it took 3 years. Dang it.
You look up at the North Star and you're like, oh, shoot.
You hold your hand up and you're like, ah.
Well, that's a waste.
Throw it out.
I just did the Babylons coming down to destroy Israel. Oh no.
Nobody make a Christmas wish.
Oh, see, we could start traditions.
See, and I swear to you, that seems to me as something that would be like a lesson that you teach. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you're
An
teaching a bunch
object lesson.
exactly, like if you're teaching a bunch of little kids, it's like now, children, just like the wise man went and found Jesus, we're going to stir from east to west, and if you do it right, you'll get a wish. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
But did they have to stir back east again?
east to west.
The east to go back
east.
home.
East to west.
The one wise man who came over and is like, oh, shoot, I forgot the gift.
It's
Go
the
back.
east to west, and then there's a little spoon that represents Mary and Joseph fleeing to Egypt that goes south, and then they go east again. And then a bunch of other spoons are kind of mixing around on the other end that represents Herod looking for Jesus. I mean, we could go real deep with this. There's a fork for some reason. Nobody knows why. Maybe it's Roman. I don't know.
And then there's a threek, and I think they're missing something.
Oh, dear. We're going to be in trouble.
We are. All right, next.
All right.
Portugal.
Portugal, during a Portuguese Christmas feast. They put a comment in here. See? It is tradition to set an extra place at the dinner dining table for deceased relatives, as well as remembering absent family members. This is thought to bring good luck and prosperity to the household.
I think this is a really common motif.
Yeah, 'cause they-
in Jewish tradition.
Yeah,
They do it for Elijah, don't they?
Yep.
Yep. They set a
During
place for
Passover.
Elijah.
So, and I mean, I've seen that even here in cultures where it's like, even after someone passes away, just the thought of being able to have them
Join.
imagine them being
Sure,
there, so
sure.
they present a plate or something.
I
there.
mean, you look at Dia de la Muerta. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
there's a whole holiday that's celebrated around that. So
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
actually seems like that's a sweet tradition. It's something that I would even adopt.
Thanks, Portugal.
Portugal.
Danny's just gonna have a bunch of plates. Who are those for? Well, this is Mark
Tommy
Twain.
Jeremy.
This is
Now, this next one, I hate.
Go ahead. What is
Ooh.
it?
all right. This is exciting. So, you guys remember from a few weeks ago, we've discovered something very crucial. Josh is afraid of everything. So we're going to talk about that here.
It's true.
So Ukraine, a spider
Now,
web.
I preface. I don't hate Ukrainians.
No.
No, it's the superstition.
spiders.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure
spider.
when I said spiders, the people understood, Joshua.
I was going to say.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening.
Anyway, a spider web found on Christmas morning is believed to bring good luck. Ukrainians create small Christmas tree ornaments in the shape of a spider and hang webs about their tree. The tradition using tinsel is said to be because of this tradition. I do not like how that was stated. It's
No
said
kidding.
to be because of this tradition.
Interesting. So tinsel is just spider webs.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
So, in other words, Josh, you've secretly been attracting spiders to your house for years.
Dude, I've never used tinsel in my life.
You've never used tinsel?
You've never
Heck
used
no.
tinsel?
No, do you not remember growing up? Mom was like, well, she was very strategic how she placed tinsel because Dad was just like, la 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 la.
Bumps of tinsel.
Well, if we accidentally put a small ornament on the bottom of the tree, we got heck to pay.
Yeah, but I do not use tinsel because it's just messy.
Is tinsel even still a thing? I don't think I've used tinsel in the last couple years either.
I use tinsel, but that's
you?
mostly to hide the skinniness of my tree. So,
Now, here's my question. So I know, so the spider probably comes in on the tree that you cut down.
Right.
Has there ever been stories where like there's a chipmunk in it? I know there's a Disney cartoon about it, but
Well, there's a Disney cartoon and there's also Christmas Vacation where the squirrel comes in.
oh yeah,
One of my favorites.
see,
see, and I haven't seen any of that yet. Is that Mr. Lampoon's one?
That
or-
is National Lampoon's
so,
Christmas
National Lampoon's,
Vacation.
is that what it is? Mr. Lampoon's? Whoops.
Mr. Lampoon's.
That's a whole different genre we don't want to talk about.
It is a fantastic movie and everybody should watch it.
isn't that the lights that go up in space?
They
can
do
see
put
from
en-
space.
They do enough lights.
Doesn't he get zapped once
He
or something?
does.
See, I've seen him on the recommendations on my TV, and so I've been wanting to watch him, but I just
There's a
Keep
little
holding off.
language.
well, that's the thing is I have to do it after the kids go to bed.
There you go.
So anyway, spiders.
Yeah, no.
Now, I'm always terrified to pull the tree out of my basement
Storage.
during the thing because, you know, they've been in a dark place for a little while. And we had, our grandpa had a beautiful home up in the mountains.
I know what you're going to talk about.
And he had little places that he would store holiday decorations. Without fail,
there was something.
there was places had stuff in them, and us being the smaller people
Which is hard
at the
to believe.
time,
Yeah.
which is funny. I mean, really, what it came down is he just didn't want to bend over to grab them, so he would have us go in there, and so usually we climb in there, and it was terrifying.
And they're crawl spaces. To be very clear, like
Yeah.
we're talking, like you would have to go hands and knees into these places, and the house is beautiful, but the crawl spaces are the most terrifying places ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
there's
underneath
like-
his deck,
There's like a little dangling light with exposed wire that sparks every once in a while.
It was covered up by like linoleum.
Yep. And so you would go in there and not even just spiders, but we're talking like widows. You would go in there and there's a black widow, and then you would freak out.
and he would call you a cockeyed twit.
And Grandpa would scream at you for yelling.
See,
You're being too loud.
I freaked out, but then I'd hit my head and then forget, and then freak out and hit my head and then forget again. And so, like,
There's a lot of things that are becoming a lot more clear about you, Josh.
but
All those years.
if any of our cousins are listening, they've been banished to that.
I think every one of the grandkids had to go under the stair, and you didn't even like get to it from the outside.
No.
You had to go into the garage,
in
into
the corner of the
into
garage.
the corner of
Yeah.
the garage.
behind, and you normally put one of the table saws in front of it.
Yeah.
Which also had tons of spider webs on it.
When in my time there was like a poorly cut piece of plywood that was semi covering it up.
So you know there's going to be a hobo spider somewhere in there.
You would pull it off, and he would just point and be like, "Give me that."
See,
and you're like,
and
"What are you talking
when
about?"
I came along, he had freaking bird seed that he had hung up on the wall for some reason. And it was leaking, and so the rats or the mice would come, and you'd have mouse poop that were feeding on this like bird seed right next to the entrance. And so when I came, it was like, okay, I'm gonna have black widows, I'm gonna have mice. Who knows? Our long lost cousins probably under there, still like,
Larry,
What happened?
we
to
were
Larry?
wondering where you went to.
What's funny is I remember going under there like 2 or 3 times and being like, "That's terrifying." And so the 4th time being like, "Hey, I have a younger brother."
and guess what? Here's what
Josh.
here's what pisses me off. Is okay, I was the youngest, so I had to go in. I was the littlest. Other cousins came around. I did it until I was freaking 18 years old.
Well, that's because after a while he just gave up on putting things down there. Remember that after a while he just like left his Christmas stuff out in the garage all the time, and so
Yeah.
like you would go down in July.
Except for the Rudolph.
That's actually-
Rudolph was
that's true.
scary.
And the Rudolph that got like super rusty over time.
Yes.
And like the lights were changed so many times that Rudolph's nose was like green.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Grandpa.
we miss him. We miss him dreadfully. But oh man,
But we don't miss the Christmas
Yeah.
setup on the outside of that home.
it was beautiful. But oh,
I think that's the only roof that I think I've almost fallen off of.
Oh, me too. So I remember going up and doing their roof, like, and once again he would wait a little bit too long
Yeah,
for
it was icy as-
and so there's ice, and like you would slip, and he would get mad at you that you almost died.
Yeah, and just remember, he lives up like at the mouth of a canyon in the mountains of Utah, and so it got colder earlier. Snow would happen
Lot of
earlier.
So, needless to say, we're not. We don't go for this Ukrainian tradition.
we don't. Mostly because we've come across real ones. I don't think Australians would like that either.
No. Okay.
Because if they catch a spider web on their tree, they're spraying it with all sorts of stuff.
Well, could you imagine the ones in the Philippines? Because you have like the banana spiders that are like
the banana
size of your-
spiders and the damong, yeah, which again, massive. I remember coming across the first one, and it was one of the few times where I had it like your body just completely freezes.
Your spirit left your body.
Yeah,
and
no,
just-
so like it shocks you because you see tarantulas and stuff like that. We've seen them here in Utah, and like they're big, but when you come across one technically in the wild, it's a whole
Oh, yeah.
different experience. And yeah, I came across it, and what was funny is my companion just went over and whapped it with a broom and went, oh, look at this, picked it up and ran at me with it. And I ran away and hit my head on the roof because I was too tall.
And see, I would poop my pants and then feel bad, fall, and then fall in my poop and then hit my head. And then I'd be eaten alive by the spider because it's a man-eating spider.
And at that point, it'd be a crap-eating spider. So,
Seriously.
Oh,
All right,
jeez.
what's the next one?
all right, Guatemala.
This one,
This one I think my wife would love if I follow this tradition.
every wife would love this one.
On December 7th, Guatemala.
December 7th.
I say 1941, yeah.
Will live in infamy.
Yes, I almost had to stop myself, but Josh ruined it. Guatemalans go on a cleaning frenzy, sweeping their homes, collecting rubbish, and piling everything into a huge heap outside. Finally, an effigy of the devil is placed on the top and set on fire to burn all the bad from the previous year.
I love the idea of effigy burning. I've never burned an effigy, but I think I'm going to have to sometime. I think it's time to make an effigy of something.
Yeah, what is your effigy of choice?
I don't know. I haven't decided.
Effigy of my belly. I want to go away.
I'd just like to point out that you could tell this is a UK article because they didn't say garbage.
They said rubbish.
They said rubbish.
Bunch of rubbish.
And it's a huge heap outside.
So, not to bring in World War II, but here's the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and a bunch of Guatemalans are just burning their trash.
Yeah, exactly. And lighting it a fire with the devil.
With the devil on top of it.
Be gone, devil. That's how I feel about my garbage in my house.
Just go and burn it.
Just burn it.
Hey, do you know, I diss, the Philippines for probably the garbage building killing me later, but the garbage burning, thank you.
There you go.
I'm having a stroke. But it was very nice to just throw whatever you wanted outside your door, and then you just throw a match out at the end of the day and just watch it burn.
Nice.
And then sometimes you'd have someone come over and be like, do you need help? And then they'd spray some lighter fluid on the light and it just burn.
Oh my gosh.
And they would burn most of it away. It was great.
I'm going to skip the Spain one. No offense to the Spanish. But I'm going to go down to Krampus night.
Oh, you guys are on the website. I'd say you're past the...
You don't want to go to the Catalonia pooping log of Spain?
I mean, I do love a poop story.
Let's do Krampus.
Krampus. I just watched a movie about Krampus.
What was it called? Krampus?
No, it was called Red One.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
That was a fun movie. That was on.
But Krampus literally looked
brain.
like,
Scary.
yeah, terrifying.
He literally looked terrifying. Did he look like he was cramping?
Krampenschnott.
It's December, his time of the month.
Did you say Krampus snot?
That's what it's called. On Krampusnacht or Krampus night.
You need to pronounce the T, or it sounds like Krampus snot.
How would you pronounce it?
Krampusnacht.
Oh, look at me speak a little German. Schnacht.
Krampus snot.
Well,
Krampusnacht.
which is on December 5th. People dress as Krampus to scare children into behaving.
I love this tradition.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I love this. I think we should bring it.
I love the duality of it. Here's Santa Claus, such a jolly old fellow, giving presents, happy. If you're bad, we'll give you a lump of coal. Oh, I can still stay warm. No, the Germans are like, no, that's not good enough. We're going to make a creature that whips you.
With a stick in his bag.
Whips you repeatedly for being bad. Oh, and if you're really bad, he's going to take you away and he's going to eat you.
Yep.
I love it.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Speaking of a red one, is that slapping game really a part of the Krampus Nacht?
Well, Krampusnacht,
Wait, is Red One with the one with Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good.
It is. It's actually fun.
I don't know if it actually is. I hope so, because that would be even better.
Do you know what
Just slap people.
We're going to skip down another two.
Yeah, I know. I was going to do that. Are you doing to Japan?
I am. And so I just want to point out, so I'm going to read this.
This makes my day.
In Japan, where Christmas isn't so widely celebrated, many enjoy a festive meal from KFC. Thanks to a highly successful marketing campaign in the 1970s, families now often reserve their Christmas Kentucky months in advance.
I also love this tradition.
KFC in Asia,
Is like
it
everything.
is so much better than here in America.
So in Canada,
Why is that?
I don't. Their chicken's good, but I mean they have rice, and everything's better with rice. At least from what I will say. But I mean I talked to my wife because she lived in Japan for a year and a half, and it just everyone we talk to it's just so much better. It's a beautiful place to have KFC. I just want to know what marketing campaign they did. They're like, you know what, guys, you don't celebrate Christmas. Come eat some chicken.
here's what I think's funny. And the Christmas Story highlights this. Here's the Japanese going to an American-made restaurant, where I know a ton of families who go and get Chinese or Asian food on Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's almost a inside joke with people who are Jewish. That's what they do.
Isn't that what they did in the Christmas Story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I think that's funny that we kind of they eat KFC, we have Asian food.
Oh, Chinese food. That's
Now,
so good.
I think Danny will like this next one. Sauna time with spirits.
Oh, let me just go to Finland and spend a couple weeks there.
I
and
think-
sit in their sauna.
I think genetically there's something in our genetics because we are Scandinavian.
we are.
We have a large percentage. And so I think all of us, in some way or another, like
Heat.
sauna or a steam room, per
Yeah.
se.
I just don't want to be naked with a bunch of other random people.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
anyone?
that's a
This
great
is
thing to
an
announce.
open invitation. Danny would like to be naked in a room with you.
In a sauna.
No, not just any room.
It has to be a
It
wood
has
room.
to be a wood room, and it has to be very, very hot. So I have to be sweaty.
It's Danny
That's
just
the only way it's going
Danny
to
just walks into the kitchen. There's some random person there. What are you doing there? You invited me.
It does seem a little toasty in here, and I'm naked.
I do like a good sauna.
Oh, I love a sauna, like a really hot, heavy, dry sauna.
Oh, see, I don't.
See, I don't do dry.
I don't do dry.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
See,
there's
but my
nothing
thing is,
better.
I'd rather just be in a steamy bathroom with the shower running.
So you're kind of a steam room guy.
Yeah.
I love steam rooms. I actually have one at my apartment complex that we go to, but it's not hot. It's just steam.
It's not hot.
No.
So do they just pump the steam in?
Yeah.
And it's not hot steam though. That's weird.
Nope.
I
We
bet
do.
it helps
We do have a
clear out the
sauna
nose,
room,
though.
but I don't know if it works.
So what you're saying is what is that? The Frozen sauna guy?
Uh-huh.
There's a Frozen Christmas one where Olaf goes around getting everybody's tradition, and it really is a tradition that they take a sauna on Christmas.
It is.
Yeah, with
And he
their
burns
dead
it down.
ancestors.
It is also believed that the ancestral spirits use the sauna after the sunset. So families make sure to leave it empty after dark.
Oh, so don't. I would be in there. Hey, welcome. All of a sudden, these towels just come in and sit down next to me. Nothing there, just a towel.
So I do want to go back to the Catalonia pooping log. This is very important.
Danny wants to talk about the
In
Pokemon.
Catalonia, children feed a hollow log known as Tio de Nadal or Cagatio. I think that's Cagatio. In the days
that
leading
sounded
up to
so
Christmas. On Christmas Eve, they beat it with sticks to relieve small gifts and sweets that appear as if the log pooped them out.
Cogatillo!
Now, for those of you who
Smack.
don't know, Catalonia is in Spain.
It is.
And so here's a bunch of Spanish people beating logs, and then the log just poops out treats.
I mean, what's a piñata?
A log with treats.
Maybe this is like the precursor to the piñata?
Oh my gosh.
So you mean if we got the people from Spain and the people from, what was it, Latvia?
They're rolling their logs, and the Spanish are beating them.
So they're trying to run away with the log, and the Spanish are chasing after
It's
just
all
whacking at it.
connected, people. It's all connected.
Oh my gosh.
The poor Latvians were just running away from the Spanish. Why do they keep trying to beat the log?
All while the Japanese are watching eating their chicken.
And the Americans having their Asian food. Or the girls
No,
outside with
I
the
was
pigs.
Waiting for the pigs to snort.
Now, I just
Oh.
want to mention this last one, or I don't know what time we have left, but roller skating to mass, I would love to see that. Can you imagine a bunch of nuns just rollerblading down the street to
See, and
mass?
I actually think of someone dressed up like one of the 90s rollerbladers with the super short shorts. Going to take communion. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Do you remember the guy in our ward, Brother Henderson, Brian Henderson?
Yes, I do.
I could see him doing this.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
One day, he was my scout leader. I was part of Boy Scouts of America, as we were all. And we were really young and went to a skate night at Classic Skating. And they were playing tag. And people were tagging. There's a really good guy who was tagging. And Brian was just on the outskirts skating around with his, not roller blades, which we all had. He had roller skates from like old. And he brought his own. And we should have known. Because as he was going, he was all of a sudden the last person. He was just skating on the outside, and the guy was coming to tag him. He full-on pulled splits on the rollerblades right underneath the guy's arm, came back up, and then did the moonwalk with roller skates. And we're like, what the heck
Who is this
guy?
person? He did not have short shorts on, though.
No.
Ryan, if you ever listen to this, we miss you. We love you.
He would have been
You
in
were
the...
a hoot.
He wasn't in the 90s. He was the disco era. He would have had like those
Bell-bottom pants. See, now that's the era I should have been born in. Bell-bottom pants, platform shoes, the glowing, gleaming white coat that sparkles.
No, you got to
Gigantic
have the
lapels.
ruffles.
No ruffles for
pirate
me.
shirt.
Any semblance of chest hair sticking out, thinking that you're, amazing.
My one.
And finally, a fro.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Finally, a fro.
I wanted a
But yeah,
fro.
but that guy never tagged Brian. Brian just skated around him like he was just like this cool guy, and he was just jamming out. And all of us, like 8-year-olds, were like, dang.
This is the coolest thing in the whole world.
Yeah. And then he took us on a scout camp. Guess where we went? His backyard.
So I just want to point out this is the same guy who we hiked for 3 miles to find a moose. And then we hiked back to our camp.
And the moose followed you, didn't
And
he?
the moose, no, we didn't find a moose on the hike. We came back to camp and the moose walked right through our campsite. And he poked it with a stick. And then ran and hid in a kaibo, which is, for anyone that doesn't know, a
Porta potty,
kaibo,
yeah.
a potty that is absolutely atrocious.
A kaibo is the blind spot of God. Is
Yes,
what the
that's what it
kaibo is. Where no holy act has ever been committed and only unholy acts.
And here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have
Boy
this, but
Scouts.
every like opening ceremony of the scout camp, they teach you how to stir the pot.
Did
you
you
ever
go
have
east to west?
Now, remember, everyone,
This is where the wise men.
and this is why we're going to get called in to see our bishop.
No, they would pull the stick out, and instead of being as long as it was then like a festering, like radioactive, eating the wood away because what's in the kaibo is disgusting.
And that's how they came up with the idea of the
And with that,
Kettle.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay, final thoughts as we are exit out of our paranormal Christmas traditions. We'll start with Josh.
I think we should fight against the machine and the
Josh is making himself laugh too much he can't focus.
And instead of doing the typical like
Down with the patriarchy, man. Oh, and Merry Christmas.
but instead of doing the like traditional traditions that just feed money to like the big businesses and stuff, do some of this stuff.
I agree. Let's go chop down a tree and drag it around the neighborhood.
And I'll whap it and see if it poops.
Yeah, see if any Spanish people come out with sticks. Chase after us.
Now here's what I'm concerned. Now just thinking about it, there was probably a squirrel in that log, and that's why it pooped. Because someone was just boom, 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 boom.
Ooh, chocolate.
Oh, my final thought. I love these kind of customs, and I'm kind of with Jake in that I'm very curious as to where a lot of them come from, and you can't help but wonder, like, between baby demons, Krampus, and dragging logs, if there's some kind of something else a little bit more deeper going on over there.
Yeah, what's happening in Europe, man?
I have no idea. So, Merry Christmas, everybody, and Jake.
Shoot, they have frames and moldings on this website.
Once again, the
Doors
website that
suck.
we were on, where we got all of our information for
Doors and more.
tonight's doors and more.
Hey,
found-
they have fire doors. Anyway, I love Christmas.
I thought you were gonna like break out in a song.
I was, and then I realized we might have copyright infringements on our case, so I had to stop myself.
I love Christmas.
So someone's gonna have to just guess what the rest of that song is.
It's like,
But it is so cool that you have all these cultures from around the world that have so many various traditions. Now, a lot of them all come back to like kind of a similar belief system or mindset. A lot of these, they base it on some interpretation of how we should act around Christ's birthday. But it's just kind of interesting. You see people that are just, for us, you look at it and go, that doesn't make sense. But for them, it's like, no, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is what we do.
I can't help but wonder. As we were going through this, I couldn't help but wonder of like the customs that we have that people throughout the world would be like, what are they doing?
Putting stockings over the fireplace, isn't that a fire hazard?
Or like for us Utahns, like fruit and Jello.
Oh yeah.
Which is amazing.
Or the best potatoes being called funeral potatoes.
Which I've had a lot of videos of people getting us negative reviews about that, and I'm very dissatisfied with them.
It's because they don't know how to make funeral potatoes. That's my biggest thing is that like here these people are. Okay, we're getting on my soapbox for a second. Here these people are,
He
and
actually stood up.
they are making these wild accusations about how bad funeral potatoes are. But when you look at the recipes that they're making, they are making the worst kind of funeral potatoes.
You have to have them
on purpose.
soggy.
I think it's prejudice against Utah people.
Rage Against the Machine, man.
Down with the patriarchy, man.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. But anyway, I'm grateful for the season.
Absolutely. Hopefully
I-
everybody out there is having a wonderful Christmas.
This is coming out Monday?
This is coming out the
Monday
23rd.
before, 23rd. Merry Christmas, Adam.
Merry Christmas, Adam.
And remember, Eve ate it first.
What?
Eve ate the fruit first?
Okay.
Josh is pointing a demi finger. She ate it. But the woman now gave us me. She was going in the hog pen to check something out with the hogs. I didn't get it.
I didn't know what was going on.
and the old one.
And the old one's the one that hogged. And then she turned and looked at me and went, oh.
Poor Adam.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy New Year. Oh, wait, no. That's next podcast. Sorry.
And Josh is in charge of that one. I'm nervous.
I am too. Next week, Josh will be talking about the human condition. Do we have a teaser, Josh?
Beware.
Yeah, I will. After some of the last couple podcasts, I will be very aware.
If we make it to air on this one, I'm going to be really happy.
Time to edit. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.